I've said it before that I was never a huge Pokemon fan back in the heyday of the series. Sure, like many kids, I bought a few packs of cards, watched a few episodes of the animated series, and played the occasional game, but it was actually my brother who really got into the Pokemon series rather than I did. It may surprise you to learn that Pokemon Snap was one of my most eagerly awaited games on the N64. Way back when I first got the console, one of my favourite memories was simply playing Birdman in Pilotwings 64. I'd love nothing more than to try to find some cool angles and shots to take photographs of. There was something so relaxing and creative about this experience, and it felt that each time I played the game I was having a totally unique experience, and capturing moments that nobody else would ever have. And so when I heard there was going to be a fully fledged photography game featuring the classic Pokemon characters, I was instantly looking forward to a similar experience. Originally announced as an N64 DD title, the game was switched to be a regular cart after the DD suffered poor sales. Pokemon Snap is a 1999 release from Nintendo that was co-developed by HAL Laboratory and Pax Softnica. It was one of the most heavily promoted N64 titles ever made, with console bundles hitting store shelves and over 86,000 hotels having and promoting the title. You also had the ability to take your cart to certain stores like Blockbuster to have your photos printed off. It went on to shift 1.5 million copies in its first year of release and is in the top 5 most rented N64 games ever released. The gameplay sees you take control of Todd Snap, a young boy with a passion for photography who embarks on a mission to take photographs for Professor Oak of the Pokemon in their natural habitat on Pokemon Island. In order to ensure the safety of the Pokemon, you are enclosed at all times in 01, a vehicle that can take on land, sea and air and guide you safely through the 7 unique environments on your mission. You start each mission with enough film to capture up to 60 photos, so you can't be too shutter happy, as soon as you've used these snaps, the level will end. Being an on-rail shooter of sorts, you could be forgiven for thinking that they'd missed a trick with not making this an open world title. However, the fact that the game is on rails is really why the game works so well. It forces you to be creative with your aiming and angles, and after a few minutes you'll quickly get to grips with the game's controls. After each mission you'll select photos for Professor Oak to score. You'll be graded on the Pokemon's pose, the size of the shot, and you'll also get bonus points for framing of your photos and for capturing special poses or Pokemon in action. This all sounds fairly straightforward, but like many classic Nintendo titles, it's the details that make a huge difference to the overall game. The points you earn can unlock new courses in different parts of the island. You can also access new items to help you rack up big scores. For example, you can throw apples which will lure Pokemon closer to 01, or almost as a weapon to cause Pokemon to react. Take for instance the tunnels, where you need to cause an explosion in order to unlock a secret path to the next level. To do this you hurl an apple at the Pokemon and boom, the explosion begins. With only 7 courses in the game, you may think that the game will be quickly over and done with. However, as you access each new area and each new item, you'll need to backtrack to previous courses where your newly acquired gear will help you interact in new, unique ways with the Pokemon themselves. Having to think of unusual ways to use your inventory is key, and it can lead to some epic solutions when you finally realise how you can find some of the game's rarer and hidden Pokemon. Speaking of the Pokemon themselves, die-hard fans of the series will likely be a little bit disappointed that of the 151 Pokemon available, just over 60 are actually in the game itself. Saying that though, the most recognisable and popular ones are all here, as well as some involved forms. For many gamers though, seeing the Pokemon rendered in real-time 3D polygons was a real highlight. The developers have created some nice looking courses that fit in with the level's themes and overall Pokemon universe, but personally the console could have been used to push the overall quality of textures and effects further. But with the game having no slowdown and being visually appealing, I can see why they didn't decide to go overboard with the game's looks. The audio too serves the overall feel of the game well. Whilst none of the tracks are particularly memorable, they work well as they do not detract from the concentration levels you need at key moments in order to secure the best possible photographs. The effects too are also kept to a minimum, and some may have liked more speech from the Pokemon themselves, but with the amount of repeat courses you need to go through in order to complete the game, I feel that they would have quickly become an annoyance. With each mission course taking up to 5 minutes to go through, I feel this is a game that will appeal to a wide audience. Those who have a spare half an hour or so can be in the game in moments, and it could fit in enough courses to find some enjoyment. Others though who have a longer gaming session in mind can really get to the core of the gameplay and attempt to come up with unique ways to get the Pokemon you want captured on film. It's really a hard game to review, because from watching the footage you may be wondering what all the fuss is about. But if you ask many gamers who had the N64 back in the day, I'm sure they will too have fond memories of jumping into Zero One and wasting hours of their lives experimenting in this game. For years and years many gamers have been asking, when are we going to get Pokemon Snap 2? And despite some cryptic answers from the game's director about a possible Wii U version, nothing yet has materialised, and so for now Pokemon Snap remains as a remnant of the N64 era, where quirky games such as this repaid the developers for taking a risk on a unique and new style of game. But as always though, it's over to you now. I'd love to know what your memories of Pokemon Snap are, and any of your own personal highlight moments when playing the game. Perhaps it was capturing a rare Pokemon with a high scoring photo, or was it simply hurling apples at Pokemon and knocking them into lava pits or off their perches? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below, and until next time.